Introduction. As under the present operation of the Boston Port Bill, thousands of our respected brethren at that town must necessarily be reduced to great distress, they feel themselves affected with the sincerest sympathy and most cordial commiseration, and as they expect, under God, that the final deliverance of America will be owing, in a great degree, to a continuance of their virtuous struggle, they esteem themselves bound in duty and interest to afford them every assistance and alleviation in their power. May this notification by some faithful record be handed down to the yet unborn descendants of Americans, that nothing but the most fatal necessity could have wrested the present inestimable enjoyments from their ancestors. Let them universally inculcate upon their beloved offspring an investigation of those truths respecting both civil and religious liberty, which have been so clearly and fully stated in this generation. May they be carefully taught in all their schools, and may they never rest until, through a divine blessing upon their efforts, true freedom and liberty shall reign triumphant over the whole globe. Recommendation of Townships of Monmouth County, New Jersey, 1774. And now, my fellow citizens of this independent republic, my fellow Christians of every order and denomination in this assembly, and all you that fear God and hear me this day, give audience. The Most High planted our fathers, a small handful, in this Jeshimon, and lo, we, their posterity, have arisen up to 3 millions of people. Deuteronomy 10:22. Our ears have heard, and our fathers have told us the marvelous things God did for them. But our eyes have seen far more glorious things done for us, whereof we are glad and rejoice this day. Reverend Ezra Stiles, President of Yale College, May the 8th, 1783, Election Sermon, Hartford, Connecticut. Now, to bring about government by oligarchy masquerading as democracy, it is fundamentally essential that practically all authority and control be centralized in our national government. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, March 2nd, 1930. Introduction. Quote, "It is indeed high time that we repossess the important historical truth that religion was a fundamental cause of the American Revolution." End quote. It is, moreover, high time that we recognize the religious presuppositions undergirding many non-religious aspects of colonial history. Towards this end, these studies have been made. They were first presented as a series of lectures to an Intercollegiate Society of Individualists conference held at St. Mary's College, August the 20th to the 31st, 1962. The studies best explain themselves. It should perhaps be noted that some time has been given, as the first chapter evidences, to counteracting what Boorstin, in an essay of that title, has called, quote, "The Myth of an American Enlightenment," end quote. The roots of American history go deep. Not only is it the oldest of Western countries in consecutive and unbroken inheritance in civil government, having been free of revolutions and internal chaos, but its origins are Christian and Augustinian, deeply rooted in Reformation, medieval and patristic history. It is held, moreover, that the United States, from its origins in the colonial period on through the era of the Constitution, represented a Protestant feudal restoration. This, then, is the perspective of this work. When reference is made to the Christian nature of the United States, the objection immediately raised is the absence of reference to Christianity in the Constitution. The Constitution would never have been ratified had such reference been made, and to safeguard themselves, the people sought and gained the further protection of the First Amendment. Its wording is significant, quote, "Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof," end quote. All the constituent states had in some form or other either a Christian establishment or settlement, or specifically Christian legislation. Religious tests for citizenship, blasphemy laws, singular or plural establishments, and other religious settlements were the rule, jealously guarded and prized. First against British interference, then against federal usurpation. To preserve the integrity and freedom of the specific forms of Christian statehood of the constituent states, the Constitution forbade any jurisdiction to the federal union in this area. The answer to the present federal interference, wrongly based on the 14th Amendment, is not a Christian amendment, but the restoration of the prior jurisdiction of the states. The American Revolution was not a revolution in the modern sense of that word. Moreover, it was a defensive war fought to preserve American liberties from the usurpation and invasion of Parliament. The colonies rightly charged the Crown with breach of feudal contract, whereby they could declare that contract null and void. The Constitution was not designed to make the United States a quote-unquote nation, but to federate already existing states whose previous unity had been primarily in the British monarch and was now in the federal union. As a result, the term, quote, United States, end quote, was a plural noun, taking a plural verb. The constituent states being various forms of Christian states, they forbade the federal government to enter the area of religion to impose or forbid any establishment or settlement alien to the states. The freedom contemplated, therefore, was not freedom of or from religion, but for religion in the constituent states. The states thus were prior and determinative in this and other areas, but more important, in most of the key states, the counties were the basic and determinative unit of American civil government. Not only did many local religious laws prevail with its central force of public support and legal power, but also the two other great arms of civil power were in the hands of the county. First, the power to tax property, and second, criminal law. This is the heart and genius of the American civil structure and the centre of its resistance to tyranny. Hence the assault of federal, state and metropolitan government planners on the county unit. Hence the proposal, as currently in California, to do away with county assessors and to remove control of property from the county unit. The revival and growth of the historic American settlement depends, therefore, on the Christian renewal of the citizenry and the renewal of the centrality of the local units of government. Not in Washington, but on the local level, the battle will be won or lost. The key resistance today is therefore to be found among those who battle for the integrity and independence from usurpation of the county government, among those who establish and further Christian schools, among those, in short, who realize that the American answer to the problem of civil power was originally a Christian one and firmly anchored close to home.